All right, everybody, we are back with the DODCAST. What is this, episode 4, I think? Something like that.
Yeah, I think it's episode 4.
Episode 4 it is. I am Corey Jaga Marco. That is Tony Compton, as himself.
Thanks for joining us, guys. We got a big episode today and a very special guest, someone we've been trying to get on the DODCAST since episode 1. Ladies and gentlemen, we bring you the head KTP admin, the Toxinator himself. Tox, say something to the fans.
Thanks, Tony. Thanks for that big hype up.
All that.
And that's your head KTP admin, guys, joining us today. And Corey, I'm pretty excited. We are showcasing 2 new maps. Well, I guess 2 redone maps, if you will.
Very true, yeah. It's
Remade.
a big episode.
We're going to start with DOD Rail Yard, and that's a working title before anyone freaks out.
Yeah.
This was made by Steve Heisey. Tox had a lot of input on it as well, though.
Yeah.
And we're going to be doing a little flyby here and showing you
changes.
exactly the changes. And as you can see, Tox is flying by here. Tox, why don't you just take it here, give us a little talk through on what's going on here at the Axis spawn.
So yes, this is the revamped Axis spawn. I think about 15 man-hours went into this project right here.
Just the spawn.
Just on the spawn.
Steve was very dedicated to making a nice Axis spawn here.
So remember that.
For the most part, we tried to keep most of the original layout. Axis spawn, we did a little bit of a rework just to make it a little gameplay better.
Yeah.
You'll have 2 exits leading to the spawn ramp here.
Which is a nice change from what it used to be, because it was, you
you're no longer just getting shot through the door,
bombarded by nades.
Naded to the spawn. There's also multiple exits on the other side of spawn.
Yeah.
Mouse here. So you have a right and then a left here.
Perfect.
And snipers can't see down that ramp from the Axis.
And one of the
anymore, right?
major changes was no longer getting shot as you spawn.
Yeah.
What about as you're running off ramp from Blue Room, if an allied sniper was in Blue Room? Because that was a pretty big
you're
part of
going to get shot.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think that's just
this angle right here.
That's fair, yeah.
Which
I mean, that's just a good
I think that's one of the perks of the allied sniper is he's more of a rover on this map. You can do, I would say, both snipers.
Absolutely.
You're not just stuck in a loft. You can kind of do a lot of different things.
Yeah, I love this for that.
I'll start at the Axis first because this was the area we felt did need change in regards to how it played.
Yeah.
It was very difficult for an Axis to retake this area.
It was really messy, is what I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
bunch of buildings.
A blown out hole here.
Yeah.
We essentially this is going to look more like Railroad 2.
Yeah.
We just felt that
it just played better at the 1.
Yes, just to simplify it, it's going to seem more like Railroad 2. But some slight changes, like this corner, you don't have any connection here, and
nicely, thankfully.
Needless to say, there are some things that Steve's going to touch up before the final release in a day or two.
This isn't a final version. Like, this is
So,
still a little bit.
Just to give you a quick flyby, this is what you'll be looking at here. For the most part, it's pretty identical to Railroad 2.
Yeah. No more having to fly up a ladder.
A big thing for me is he removed all the random concrete slabs on the floor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which were so annoying to deal with in Railroad 1.
Seriously.
Yeah, we have one mound here that Till can utilize. That's about it.
Yeah. Little Till mound.
There it is.
So, some clipping. Did a lot more clipping, so you can't just jump on random objects, such as, you used to be able to get up here. That's just absurd. Yeah. So that's eliminated. We got rid of the room up here. So
sorry, J-Rod.
We want to get this out ASAP to familiarize these guys, and it shouldn't be too big of a learning curve.
No.
Let's run through 4-way. It's Steve's favorite part of the map.
Yeah. G-Box is a little smaller now, right?
Yes, G-Box was updated to a Railroad 2 version. So you no longer
lighting here, right?
Yeah, I think we look to incorporate a little more lighting overall as some of the final touch-ups.
Much brighter.
You'll notice that middle has only maybe one slight change. We removed the door on this. We're now calling it the hotel. Yeah. As little access for the allied sniper. He can get in here, use this as a little cubby. Does have some protection. Can't just get immediately walled because of this pillar. We took out a window, just, the middle window really didn't provide or do anything. That's, nothing really to change there. Ticket should be identical, retextured, better lighting.
Yeah.
Did clip this area, so you no longer fall and get stuck,
Thank God.
which was kind of silly. We'll wrap around the underpass, pretty much the same. The second, relatively the same.
Let's see that new plat, though.
Yes, there's a box platform.
Look at that 2.0 plat. Damn.
Hot.
I don't
That's
know.
fancy.
I never really asked what was going through his mind on that.
His inspiration.
Definitely unique. Steve has a very, very good vision when it comes to texture and he's very, very, very good at it. The things that when you watch him do his thing, it's like mesmerizing at times.
Yeah, it's the movie maker in him.
Yeah.
This whole long side is just really polished too. He did a great job.
Yeah, just adding a little more detail goes a long way for sure. One of the main things was I think you used to be able to get all the way into this corner.
Yeah, you
kind of eliminated that.
Still can get into that one there, but not all the way back.
There will be some wall bang things we're going to be working on, looking into. So keep that in mind for maybe some updated gameplay changes.
Right, yeah, you can shoot through that wall.
Loft itself, identical, just brighter textures, brighter lighting.
Can still get above the balcony.
Dark hall, it's not really much dark.
No, much brighter.
More light.
Or light hall.
It's bright
You
hall.
can still jump up here, utilize this area.
Yeah.
It's, kept apartments identical. Just
Railings.
better lighting, better textures, pretty simple.
It looks so much
Bring
better.
it down.
God, look at that.
I did end up. There was a lot of bulky textures were going on here. Just a little more open, a little more clean.
Yeah.
Allied first, same setup. Blue room's blue. You got the whole little updated textures for the grass. Keeping the box set up. Keeping the gameplay relatively the same there. We may look to, pretty things up here before a final release. The goal is to get something out, scrimmable, and then get some feedback, and then hopefully a week or two out, we could do some final touch-ups type release. So.
And just for the community, the plan is still to play this week 5.
Yes, this will be played. This is, we have a handful of things that just need to be done, and this is a very scrimmable version.
Yeah, it really is.
I do notice that we incorporated somewhat of a drop here, so you're no longer forced to essentially run off, but at the same time, it's a pretty tight drop as opposed to maybe Railroad 2 where you have a lot more cover.
And to be totally unseen, you'd have to crouch walk across, so it'll be time consuming to do that.
Yeah.
And it was common back in the day to do the big jump off that ramp and try to not even be seen besides your little feet. Little J-Rod jump.
That is a J-Rod jump.
So pretty much so. The Allied spawn is identical.
Yeah.
Maybe
that cubby.
We might create some sort of KZ jumpathon here.
Ooh, that'll be fun.
Across all the mountains for J-Rod and others.
Others who like to jump.
Some cleaner looking textures, trying to make these Allied models a little easier to see here. This area, the only change we made, other than textures, we did move the flag to emulate this kind of last stand, shoot people as they prone dive out. I feel like that brings a really fun aspect to the map.
Absolutely.
So here's the train.
Much brighter.
Yeah, brighter.
Pretty standard.
I do believe we plan on clipping certain things here, so these are not accessible, stuff like that. So
let me ask you this, Tox. Is there any consideration of maybe altering the config scoring for this map versus Railroad 2, or do you see them being identical?
I would have to task J-Rod and comparing the two, maybe, to see if they are identical.
Because
they might not.
I could be mistaken here, but I remember them being different back in the day. They scored
very likely that they were. Oh, also working on a little cubby area, so for when nades fly in.
Yeah.
You just dive in there.
Right.
Yeah, maybe some boxes or something.
Maybe you don't die, you just take
Yeah. Take some damage rather than just kind of stuck in this,
watching it fly at
hallway
you.
with, sticky grenades flying in.
Yeah.
Well, I know we
So-
don't want to spend too much time on this since in reality it is Railroad 1 just retextured.
Yeah,
for
it's
the
just
most part.
retextured, and the changes that are different on this version will just be a little bit similar to Railroad 2, essentially.
Yeah,
The major changes.
The
So
major.
it should be a very quick learning curve.
And I
Right.
can tell you right now, the heavies are going to love this map.
Yeah, much,
the rifles
much
too. I think if you're playing mid, you're going to love it. Even train, you might like it. So
Yeah, I think a lot of people do prefer Railroad 1
Yeah.
gameplay. I don't know if it's a 50-50 split, but maybe some of the snipers are upset they don't really have their loft.
I
but-
love this. Like, to me, it's a challenge versus just sitting in your allied loft or sniping in ticket on Railroad 2. It's so, like, you just do the same thing. On this, you can go long, you can go apartments, you can go white, you can go loft.
Yeah, you 4-way underpass
Yep.
long.
So
Hey,
much
like you
more
said, they're
open.
just true rovers on this map. The
Yeah.
snipers.
Yeah. So I guess this will probably sum up the Railroad 1 changes.
Yeah.
I expect a link to be posted either Wednesday night, Thursday, hopefully. So
Yeah,
we can
and
get
again, this
people
was
scrimming.
Steve Heisey. Great work on this.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. As always.
And big
Cannot-
thanks to all the people helping test it. Like I know J-Rod and Tox have done a ton of work on
Yeah.
this.
J-Rod, the
I might have
error
boosted J-Rod
finder.
a few places here and there. So
Yeah, railings fixed.
yeah,
oh yeah, railings. Yeah, I did want to mention the railings.
You can shoot through railings, no issues with that.
completely through them. They're not even going to clip it.
And yeah, I think that's all I had on this map. So if you want to pull up the new Lennon, we
Yeah.
can head that way.
Oh, yeah.
So first things first, this version of Lennon, as you can see, is based off of Lennon 2B1.
And not Lennon _ B2,
Yeah.
which is what the community's basically been playing for the last 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, we put the two maps up to a vote, and I think the problem with these votes is these captains tend to answer without talking to their teammates,
Yeah.
or maybe they don't even know what they're really voting on. But in my eyes and the other admin's eyes, if we have people willing to commit to make things better, and
Take advantage of it.
yeah, let's utilize that and play the maps, because I think we should 2022. Maybe you want a little bit of a refreshment.
Yeah.
With, this map I feel like makes the game look different.
Yeah.
And who knows when Lerf and Steve and these other map makers are just going to be done with DOD again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, we got to take advantage of them even being interested in stuff like this. So,
We have to
huge
use
shout out
them.
to Lerf here.
Yeah.
Lerf. I mean, I had a version that was like done. I mean, it looked nothing like this. It was just an updated version, and he's like, "I'm gonna retexture it." I was like, "All right," and
He took it,
Yeah.
man. He went with it.
oh, he must.
2
have
months
smoked-
later, we got this.
Yeah, he smoked like 6 cartons of cigarettes and went to town, and it looks
Attaboy.
beautiful.
It really does.
I guess the only change I can think of at spawn, kind of get rid of that rubble area. There used to be dual arches here.
Yeah.
Kind of eliminated that because you were able to really, really sit back here and hold blue room.
Yeah.
Now we wanted to make it a little more up front. We'll run through long. L hall's the same.
It was
Bench the
cute.
same. We see we raised the floor, so you definitely have a better angle to snipe. You probably even have a better angle than original Lennon.
I
to
think
snipe,
so. Yeah, I think so.
Which I think we were okay with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We want Axis snipers to be viable. On
Right.
Yes, yes.
Which they have not
Sometimes
really been.
I always feel like you could not even have a sniper
Oh,
on this
yeah.
map if you
Yeah,
wanted to.
teams have not run snipers on Axis before.
With success.
So big change was we reverted to the original long setup.
Yeah.
So a little bit simplified. Muscle memory will be there. It's the same cap, same spot.
Just looks nicer.
Updated textures. I do believe this wall is lower, so you're no longer shooting a pixel of a helmet here.
Oh, yeah.
So this wall might be a little bit lower as well. So when someone's peeking here, you're also not trying to hit like a pixel shot.
Right. Encouraging offense.
So overall, I think long looks great.
Yeah.
Very bright, pretty colors Lerf chose. I would say back cave, pretty much the same. Some updated textures. little detail.
brighter.
Most of the stuff's, clipped. You can't access.
Yeah.
We did lower this wall to kind of eliminate the, pixel shots that used to kind of occur here when you would peek. You'd see a helmet. That was it. Come up dark and we'll run through apps. I honestly think like this for Allied First Flag area really came out.
It's perfect.
Amazing.
Oh, it looks amazing, yeah.
Like, it's one of my favorite parts of the map.
It really is great.
I really love the colors. It's just so bright.
So you got your swing door, your loft. We did a lot of blues and whites. Keep it bright. Kept that the allies can kind of sprint off here. Going in the mid, same mid setup. Maybe we adjusted the flag, I think, because it used to wave here and kind of hide behind it.
You're right.
So that was kind of an adjustment. Clipped this so nades no longer fly through it. I think that was an issue where, allies would just throw a nade and it would just slide all the way through and kind of blow everyone up.
Yeah.
I kept the box by popular demand. I know it's a little bit of a tool that the Axis can use to kind of hold apps, which is
it's a nice
very
addition.
difficult task to do.
Halls.
Looking out well here.
So much better.
Just
Look
cleaner.
at that well. Can we take a close up of that well?
Yes, this took me about 40 minutes to make for days.
And then let's not forget you had left the extra well off to the side.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm still a little upset that didn't make it in the final cut, but I understand.
I am not on their level.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to Nine for, he has some stuff in the works. He's looking to get into
he is. He's
the
getting
hammer
his,
map making tool.
Yeah.
He's sharpening his map making skills for sure.
So, anyone who's interested, I'm not going to put Lurf on the spot, but if you have some questions, maybe me or Nine can help.
Right.
I don't want to bother Lurf.
Just send Lurf a
poor
DM.
Lurf.
Yeah.
Make sure you add him as well. Let him know you DM
Yeah.
him. No, don't do that.
So upper red, it's more of a pink, but it's red.
Yeah.
Some brighter textures.
Lower
You'll notice
window.
this window's a tad lower.
Yeah.
Having said that, you'll be able to maybe hold underpass from farther away, but I feel like it'll benefit this window-to-window peak.
Yeah.
Where it used to be a very difficult shot to get people out.
Okay,
So,
Yeah, it was 1 in 1,000 for like STGs
Yeah.
rolling through there, so maybe it's a little better shot now.
and nothing, the way this was remade, everything's in its original position.
Yeah.
So angles should all be the same. Wall thickness, wall bangs should all be relatively identical.
Yep.
So, we just, wanted something cleaner, get rid of all the brick textures that, I guess I just know other words to say, like Lurf just really knocked it out of the park.
He did. Look at that. So
Yeah.
Both
pretty.
the textures on both these maps are just so
Yeah, and they both have their own little style, which I
Yeah.
like. So,
This looks like a different game.
yeah, it looks like an updated version of the game in
Yeah.
a sense until you see the models
Yeah,
running around.
yeah. And then it's
And
like,
I
wow.
think this will be more allied sided than what we've seen lately, which is kind of more of a 50-50, even Axis taking the advantage on B2 lately.
It has been a little bit more split. I mean, it is typically allied
I would
side
say
anyways.
the biggest change allied is the spawn.
Yeah.
We added this additional exit.
Very helpful.
That way you're not funneling 6 people.
Trying to
I
get
don't-
through that gate.
Yeah, I don't recall if I think the hole might have even been through the gate.
it
it
was.
was
Original
Yeah.
Lennon, which is absurd to me.
Yeah.
But,
Not
and we
to mention,
also,
you
you
get
should
stuck
not
on that
get stuck
gate.
on these
Yeah,
gates.
No.
So that should be fixed. But we are releasing this. We're going to play test, and hopefully everything.
Yeah,
goes
I'm sure
fine.
there's going to be issues here and there, but again, that's why we play
Yes,
test
I'm
it.
sure Bullet will be posting anything
Yeah.
he finds.
He's finding shit on
within
maps
within
from-
5 minutes of release,
Yes.
they'll
Yeah.
have a 10-page list.
But that's kind of what we want.
yeah, that's exactly what we want.
Feedback, maybe not always suggestions.
Yeah.
Um,
It just looks so good now.
I would just keep in mind it's really easy to break these maps with like a big change.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah,
if it's like raise this window.
and I think I'd say like I've been more so steering the ship because map makers they kind of have their own vision and their own ideas, and maybe things would be better, maybe they wouldn't. But I think the goal was really to just keep things the way they were with very, very slight changes.
Yeah.
So
More
to not-
aesthetic changes.
Yeah, not really create a lot of friction and or nor confusion with any major changes.
Yeah.
Especially with these maps coming up in the next few weeks. Like,
Yeah,
there's no point in throwing out a
Um,
brand new map and saying,
yeah,
learn this.
like there's nothing really to show for Railroad 2 because the goal for Railroad 2 is literally to fix railings that you are unable to shoot through and maybe like lower the ticket windows,
Yeah.
things like that. Like it's so minimal that there's really nothing maybe to showcase for that at the moment.
Right. Very
Because Railroad
basic.
2 is pretty polished as is.
Yeah.
A lot of people
Yeah,
love
I
it.
think if we were to make extreme changes, it would be done during an off season.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
the goal right now is to just fix things that have been inherently broken for quite some time.
Yeah.
That should have been found during playtesting.
Exactly. And they weren't.
So
Well,
I
I
don't
gotta say,
know.
I'm excited. I think the
Yeah,
maps
if
look
you guys
great.
have any other final questions, anything I missed on this map or any other map, but
I think you nailed it. I mean, we didn't have a whole lot for B2 because, like we said, it's mostly quality of life and new textures.
Yeah.
Quality of
I
life
like it.
changes.
and I think we may even like fix some of the sound issues. We were pretty adamant about having sound cues where if a player is above you, it will make a different sound.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or an elevation.
Yeah. So
type
like
sound.
elevation wise, if a player is running at you, and we want to be able to make the sound cues better, so it's a little more polished overall.
Differentiate versus like I just hear wood, and that could be any of like 10 spots.
Yeah, that was kind of an issue. Lurf did fix that where our wood planks sounded like concrete.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then everyone's running through double windows, but it sounds like they're running underpass.
Yeah. It was
and you're
weird.
getting shot in the face. So
All right. That was super weird.
but
Yeah, that's B2. Or,
Well
excuse
done,
me,
Lurf.
Lennon 2B1. What are we calling this?
we're calling it. Both maps will be named Test.
Yeah.
Whatever their names end up being. I think
Lennon 2
this was
underscore test.
Lennon Test 1. So
Lennon test 1. Okay.
I don't know if that'll be the played version's name, most likely, just because we want to get these out, scrimmed, played, and then anything we may need to adjust, we can. So
And real quick, while we've got you here, any Armory updates you can give us? Is that something we might see next season?
we did debate maybe using Armory this season, the original, but I just felt like there were some mixed reviews with it, and Hallie kind of plays similar.
Yeah. True.
And
It's a
we
little
know
more
that
polished, maybe?
Lurf's in the process of like doing some Armory stuff. So I just thought maybe safer to put it on the back burner, let Lurf do his thing with that. And Hallie's kind of like a counterpart of it, like similar, same kind of play style. And it gets scrimmed, this gets played, so we just thought Hallie would have been a good replacement for Armory this season.
Little change of pace. Slight change.
Also,
of pace.
I did speak to Ace, and he, I think, is open to making changes to Hallie.
Oh,
So,
nice.
Oh, interesting.
Well, that makes me happy.
yeah, I don't really know what he has in store for Thunder. I think what he has is what he has. And
Yeah, might
And that's
be.
what we'll be playing that version this season. For
Next
sure.
yeah,
week, yeah.
And if, there's future changes with that, I think they would be done in the off season.
And
Yeah.
just so everyone's on the same page, that's Thunder B2,
Thunder
yes,
2
the new
B2.
version. Thunder 2 underscore B2. All right,
Perfect.
well, I think that's going to clean us up here on the new map
Yeah.
look updates, and let's go ahead and segue into our KTP Season 2 Week 2 recap.
Oh, yeah.
And we will be starting with Silver, because
I gotta
nothing
get
wrong with
this,
Silver.
I
as
gotta
they say.
get the window.
Yeah, I'm just
open
letting you
for
get
that.
get yourself in order here, and I'm just going to keep talking. First match I do have is Sleepers over CIS. I'm going to give you guys the score there. That was Sleepers 556 over CIS 75. And I think Corey's going to try and get the screenshots pulled up here.
Yeah, I'm gonna get something pulled up. I don't know what exactly, but I'm getting something. Where are we there?
It should be pretty high up, if I'm not mistaken.
I do have to give a
Yeah.
shout out. Cool Whip has just
Cool
found
Whip?
out
Oh,
there is a DoD league.
Cool Whip is coming back.
So if anyone is in need of a sniper, I don't even know, did he snipe?
He sniped, yeah.
He sniped.
Yeah.
he definitely
Cool Whip just has a little boy. I don't know if he could play much, but Land proven. Went to Kentucky Land
He
with us.
did.
I mean, if I got to put him on no-go, you know.
And
you know
we
what
got
tell
to
me.
share a story about Cool Whip and Corey. They shared a bed in Kentucky
Oh.
Land.
That is
And
true.
when they went to sleep, Corey was on one side, and when we woke up, Corey was on the other side. So I don't know
Yeah.
what you take from
It's a
that.
little night terrors.
We have no idea how. It was so
little gator
weird.
roll middle of the night.
Yeah. Somehow. I
Just
mean,
locking arms and spinning, and wherever you end up is where you end up.
we
We've
had
all
to
been
snipe
there.
against each other the next day, you know, so I had to establish my dominance. Just real quick.
Well, that's pretty hilarious. Let's get going into this. I mean, we could do a whole podcast on land stories.
We could.
And
we
probably
should.
will someday.
Yeah, we probably will.
But that day is not today. So
No.
let's jump into silver. And like I said, sleepers 556 over CIS 75. One of our biggest margin of victories of the week across both divisions. Matt continues to be the pickup that was promised for the sleepers team.
He is a stud.
He is holding down his route every half, every map. I'm pretty impressed with it. Vanok and Barinia also had huge performances. Jiraiya is looking like a great sniper.
Yeah, he is.
Really good allied half. On the flip side, you know, CIS is struggling here a little bit. This is probably a map they've never seen in their lives.
Yeah.
I will say that they've probably only had a week to play this to even figure it out. And I was still impressed with Sheikah, Azia, and Riley Stafford performances for that team.
Of
Those
course,
three-
they look good.
Yeah, those three are consistent. They just need to get a little more practice in, keep getting consistent. They're getting better. I still think they're going to get a win this season, maybe even two. So,
At least Stafford had like 60+ kills in that effort
he did.
still.
And one thing I did also want to mention looking at that screenshot, CIS guys, if you're watching this, stick around to the end of the half so we can get all the scores in, because Matt Rogers is doing stats, and I would hate for you guys to look like you have terrible KDAs or something because you only have like 2 kills or something and a half.
Yeah.
You left early, so you're missing all your kills on the other half. But
Good reminder. Good reminder.
just a friendly reminder for guys. But yeah, Corey, any thoughts on this match?
I didn't get to see this match, but it kind of went the way you expect. CIS, obviously, new team, still figuring things out for most of them, and this is a map that's not exactly like played constantly in 12-mans or anything. So, and Sleeper's looking strong as always. That's my boys. So they're coming out big this season. I'm telling you, watch out.
Talks, you think Sleepers can win silver this season?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest strengths they have is they have played together now for a whole season.
Yeah.
And they're adding talent. So, you know, I think we scrimmed them a few times, and we were definitely impressed by their capabilities.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they're fearless, and they play hard.
And a lot, which is extra key now. Just being active makes a huge difference.
So yeah, that's another big one for Sleepers. Put them at 2-0 on the season, and I'm not sure if they're at the top of the standings. We'll have to double check that later, but we're going to keep moving on for now.
Yeah.
And go to the next match, which was Love Me, Love Me Not, 326 over DreamWorks 116.
Okay.
It's a little further down.
Yeah, there they are. Oh boy.
And this was what we expected from Love Me, Love Me Not coming into the season.
Yeah.
Was performances like this.
That's a
which
statement
is,
win right
Which
there.
is their core 6, which is who's playing right here, all going off, all
Wow.
doing what they do.
Look at that. Jesus.
Yeah, Colin, huge car half. I love Devin sniping. I don't think he loves it.
I think
He's
though
doing really good.
he's gonna
doing really
handle any sniper in silver like pretty handily. Which
Yeah,
is,
I think maybe stealth and like recoil could give him some trouble, but yeah, that's a tough sniper to go against.
Yeah.
Devin.
I wouldn't want because he's so fast. Like so you could make up for the lack of positioning just by being ridiculous.
Obviously, Cody had huge halves having as
Yeah,
well. He's
top
kind
frag.
of breaking out this season.
47 bomb on the bar. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I do know DreamWorks has some older school players. I'm not sure if they were 100% familiar with this map.
Yeah, I know
wouldn't be
that.
surprised.
Like I know that Cass might have played it in one match ever, and I think that's it. Like that's it. All out of all of them.
Look at DreamWorks deaths on Axis there.
Wow,
200.
200. Damn.
That was by far the most of any team from what I could tell.
Yeah, I would think so.
It's
That's
a lot of deaths. So that makes me think, Tox, you're pretty much right on the nose there. Like they're just running at him. Like they don't really
Right.
know the pacing.
Yeah, they don't scrim.
Yeah.
So, and they're on a map maybe they don't really know. I do expect DreamWorks to definitely get better
Yeah.
as the season goes on.
Rods is still fragging.
Yeah, I think Rods is playing well, and Mazu, is that Rods?
That's Rods, yeah.
That's Rods, okay. And C is playing pretty well.
Yeah, he's been good with the heavies both matches.
So if Cass can figure it out, if one more of those guys, two more of those guys can kind of get it back, we might see some wins from them soon.
Mazura looked great sniping on Harrington as well. He didn't come up too big here on Halley, but, sniping against Devin, again, not the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, this was a tough draw on a map that they probably had no idea what was really going on. So I'm not looking too much into this loss for DreamWorks.
Nah.
It is nice to see Love Me Not get in the win column after that big upset loss in week 1.
Back on the board.
So pretty much what we expected there.
Yeah.
And again, that was Love Me Not over DreamWorks, 326 to 116.
Right there.
And we're going to move on to No-Go over Moose Knuckles, 429 to 203. No-Go, they're going to be fluid all season. They mix up the classes and the roles, what have you.
Yeah.
So this week, Deidro sniped, and he sniped his
Killed
ass
it.
off. What a match by Deidro. Not just a half. Both halves he was going crazy.
32 and
Really
15.
playing his ass off. Matt heavied with Spoon this week, just to kind of mix it up, and did pretty well.
He did.
I mean, you could pretty much put anyone next to Spoon, and they're gonna find success because Spoon is just a madman.
He is a beast.
If Quack Duck, we've got to keep our eye on this.
Yeah, he seems to be a really good player.
This guy is playing his ass off. Look at his allies have too, if you can.
He's got 30 on Axis and 33 on Allies. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, so he was out there just playing his ass off on bridge, just really keeping Moose Knuckles in it as long as he could, and I'm pretty impressed with his performance thus far, especially against No-Go, who's a very veteran team.
Right, yeah. I mean, if you got somebody out there getting 63 kills and a loss by that much, they're a fragger.
Another player for Moose Knuckles I do have my eye on is Spade. I've been seeing him in 12-mans a lot, and his scores slowly keep getting better, so this is a guy that's going to be putting up big numbers by the end of the season.
Oh, absolutely. I haven't actually got to play with him at all, but, I mean, you've given me the heads up, the 4-1-1.
So yeah, Quack Duck and Spade, I think they're going to be emerging stars in Silver. Maybe not this season, but they're looking great if they stick with it. I see them getting better and better.
Oh, yeah. And that's exciting. And in 2022, the fact that there's teams that are going to be developing still, that's crazy to me.
And for No-Go, Apple is kind of earning himself a spot every week right now.
He is.
He's playing hard. He's really good on the comms. I've been really impressed with him. Really glad Sapphire or whoever it was reached out to him. And then once he got in the Discord, Koi hit him with some 4th RB, salute stuff from back in their Pub Clan days, and he just fell right in line from there. So it worked out perfectly. Tox, you impressed with No-Go's performance thus far? They're 2-0 after going only 1 win in the regular season last season in Silver.
Yeah, I mean, I was concerned where they lost Sick.
Yeah, right.
And Recoil.
Yeah, and Recoiled. So they were definitely 2 of their best players last season. And, they seem like they're kind of making do and filling in the gaps. And they did pick up Lurf as well, who I think if they can incorporate him down the road when he's needed, get him active and scrimming here and there, he would be a very, very good pickup for them.
Yeah, that's
down
quite
the
a
playoff
weapon.
run stretch there.
Right. Be able to slot a career invite sniper in at your sniper spot in Silver is just really something nice to have.
That's definitely the plan. I'm not sure schedules are going to work out in the short term with him getting in there, but once playoffs are getting closer and those seeding weeks come up, we're probably going to see some Lurf.
Beautiful. I know he's excited to potentially play too.
Last note I had was Sapphire did not hit 40 like she claimed.
Sad.
I was told she did not actually make that claim.
Who did it?
So
J-Rod
Rogers,
probably?
Watch your back.
Oh, Matt. She's
Matt
coming
was the
for
one
you.
who came on here touting that one.
He
but,
was.
That's neither here nor there. Lastly, I did want to shout out JN, who always for No-Go is willing to fill the role that they need in that moment, even though he probably would prefer to be sniping.
Yeah, for sure.
But he's not going to make any complaints. He's actually a really chill guy. So JN, keep doing what you're doing. Kind of is what allows No-Go to thrive, because he will fill that role that they need.
Jack of all trades, utility man.
And with no-go on bye, they're going to be 3-0 this.
They are, yeah.
Into week 4, and I think probably number 1 in silver. So
I do believe
congrats,
so.
No-go.
It does say it right there. No-go, 3-0. 1,009 points for, 361 against. Quite an effort.
Sleepers is right on them, though.
They are.
And you know Sleepers has got that no-go week circled.
They have a rivalry already, and now they're battling for first place, which is just amazing.
All right, but that was no-go over Moose Knuckles. And let's move on to the last match that was played in silver. It was the match of the week, and it was a doozy.
It was a doozy. We casted
Price is Right, beating Washed Up 164 to 152.
So close. So close.
This is exactly what we said we hoped would happen, is that Washed Up could come in here and keep the momentum rolling from week 1, and they damn near pulled off the biggest 2-week upset in KTP history. You said if they won this, it was the biggest upset in DOD
I did,
history.
yeah. I said in DOD. No, I don't think that was this one. That was Slow Loris versus T3.
Oh, that's
right. Yeah. That was.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Not this one. This one would have made.
I'm going to go with it. If they had won it, it would have been the biggest upset in DOD history.
It would have been pretty amazing to see. I mean, they made it so close. Bromley at one point was ninja'd and very close to capping, and he took like a half a step to his left and ran into spawn protection and died.
Such a brutal moment. I don't know if you saw that, Tox, but that was just like one of those.
What was the final score?
They lost by 12 or 13.
Oh, okay.
So very close. Price is Right. And Price is Right was ahead most of the match, and then they kind of started letting him get back in it.
Did speak his mind in regards to Matt's prediction.
He did, yeah. 350-point loss did not happen.
I think he was. I think Rogers was still off.
He must have got a chip on his team's shoulder going into this match.
He did.
I think this may have been a little bit of a closer match due to the map that was played, and it's just been seeing some curveballs even through scrims and matches and things like that, which is good to see. It's a good change of pace between the core 4 type maps, a little variety. So.
And I love a nice intense match like that comes down to potentially, like they were holding from a cap out for a lot of the last 5 minutes there. It got real dicey for Price is Right, but they held on.
Yeah, Washed Up came out strong on their allied half, which was second half, and put the pressure on them, which is what they had to do. And I want to shout out their bridge team. Washed Up's Ducksworth, Bromley secretly, and Arachnid obviously sniping. They really played well against what was, I think, a lot of people would consider an outmatched rifle team. You got Corey Price, you got Reptar, you got Recoil. Those are some vets. Those are some people that put in some time in the game. They can get stuff done, and they still played really well at bridge.
And Arachnid ended up having the superior sniper performance there against a guy who I think most would consider to be like the top sniper in silver too. So.
Yeah, and that was another note I made is on Axis, Corey Price, Reptar, and Bill Basad really stepped up on a night when Recoil struggled.
Yeah, they did.
Bill Basad, a.k.a. Bill Basil, in the water, swimming around like a shark. Big place from him in the water. Really I'm sure just being annoying as hell for the other team because there's someone in water, they're saying the whole time. But where is he? I don't know. And he was
kept
getting so many
up.
double kills from water.
Yeah.
So that was, honestly, probably won him the match. A lot of plays like that won him the match because it was so close.
Every single time they got on bridge, basically, Bill Basad's in the water swimming around just shooting him with the stars. And then sometimes it forced him off the cap. Like there's one time they could have capped. Bill came up from the ladder and it was like that close to capping. And one of them ran off rather than like get into the fight. And that broke the cap. So.
Yeah, and on the other side of the map, HXC and Allen each basically took a half and said, this is my half. And
they did.
Pretty much dominated the opponents on the other side.
Allen on Axis, Taylor on Allies.
So big halves for a lot of Price is Right players. Washed Up, though, keep your heads up, guys. You guys are playing so well. And you're a dark horse to win silver right now. Tox, what do you think about Washed Up? Are you pretty impressed after 2 weeks?
Yeah, I think, it was hard to tell with some of these rosters, maybe some of the players' capabilities. You don't know who they are. So I would say that definitely seems like they are overachieving to what we initially expected for sure.
It turns out Arachnid is a ridiculous sniper, secretly being a pro Rainbow Six player. He's coming into his own in DOD. Defrag still got it. Bromley's still got it. War Within's playing well. Bullet's doing his bullet thing always. So they...
Who's Defrag?
Defrag is Ducksworth.
Okay.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I don't mean to dead name, Ducksworth like that.
Well, we have Quack Duck, and then we have Defrag playing as Ducksworth.
Yeah.
So
It does get confusing.
I was a little confused even as I'm reading my notes. I'm like, oh shit, this isn't right.
Who's Ducksworth? Yeah,
But
no, it's Defrag.
Ducksworth being Defrag, that makes more sense.
Yeah, and he dropped bombs there on Allied side, too. I believe that the effort in a 13-point win warranted a dual MVP of silver this week for Allen and Taylor as well.
It did, yeah. For our silver MVP in week 2, we did decide to give it to both HXC and Allen. Quick honorable mentions, though. Deidro,
Yeah.
I wanted to give it to you, but, I can't be that biased.
Yeah.
Quack Duck, huge performance against No-Go.
Yeah.
Literally trying to carry your team to victory. And Bromley also had some huge streaks.
Yeah, Bromley single-handedly capped out to make this match close with a 7K and then being the one to actually cap the last flag as well. That was insane.
Yeah, his score may not reflect his impact, but he had major impact in that match.
Seriously. And almost winning it for him with the ninja cap. It being as close as you can get and without capping at that point. Because they were gone. They were all on the bridge. All they needed was the heavy route, which they got 5 seconds after he died. So
again, grats HXC and Allen. You are our silver MVPs for week 2.
yes.
And last thing, Fast Lorse was on bye.
Yeah.
So they are 2-0 as well heading into week 3.
They had a player go up and play in gold in the match
they
of
did
the week
stealth.
there.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
That pretty much wraps up silver recap for week 2. Tox, was there anything else you wanted to add from silver in week 2 that you saw?
No, I'd just say overall, I would say most the admins were kind of impressed with how the competition's been going.
Yeah.
A little more competitive than maybe we expected.
I love it.
It's just it's still early, so
Yeah.
it's eager to see how things unfold.
Yeah, I was worried about the competition being too top heavy in silver, but it really seems like there's 4 to 5 contenders.
Absolutely,
right
yeah.
Yeah, I mean we orchestrated the playoffs in that mindset really that it was very top heavy. So if things end up being different, maybe we change so we might adapt ourselves, but like I said, I'm still kind of eager to see how things play out. It's only been 2 weeks, and
Yeah.
One map was a staple point and the other map was Halley, which maybe people don't really even know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we don't know how many people just mailed in this week. They just called it
Definitely.
a map loss.
What is this shit? But yeah,
All right, well, that is silver.
beautiful.
Week 2 in the books. And that'll take us straight to gold week 2. And some pretty good matches in gold this week. Some
There
blowouts,
was.
too. of
Yeah,
course.
yeah. As is standard, pretty much on any map, let alone a map that not everybody is super duper familiar with.
Yeah, and first out the bat, I wanted to start with over beating Clinic.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And that was 221 to 91. I think it was the first match played on Sunday. Maybe
Yeah,
they played
it
at the same time
was.
we did even. No Name and Sokka. How many times we got to talk about it? They go the same routes a lot of times, and on this route bridge, it was no different. They dominated.
44.
Yeah, No Name 44 with a car. God, would love to see that demo.
Yeah.
Just running crazy. Caffrey also was, I imagine, just having his way with Mountainside. Probably
Yeah,
flanking bridge like
37.
crazy.
He must have.
I'm certain he was going bridge there if he has 37.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he must have been going back and forth. You can't get that many kills just on that route by itself.
I did want to say, Insom, he is holding his own every week against the best in the game, and that guy's rising up my rifle rankings. He's probably right outside my top 5 right now.
Right? 63
Rifles in the
frags
game.
for him going against No Name and Sokka, who were both, dropping bombs. So.
Yeah, going against...
And Jizz.
And Jizz. And Jizz has made this team even better.
Yeah,
So
truly.
For Insom to average over 30 kills both halves against that core...
I don't
is
know how he did
impressive
it.
as hell.
I wish I could have seen this match, but it was actually going on at the same time as ours, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I think Clinic just... They probably didn't prepare enough for this. Over, turns out, it knows this map pretty well.
Yeah.
Which I wasn't aware of, but they
Yeah.
actually have played it some.
They look
Even if
quite
it was the old version.
right.
Because No Name just knew the timings, and he kind of already had his cadence figured out, it seemed like, just from what little I saw.
Yeah, on Axis, he liked a lot of the time to even get into the sniper loft and drop back and forth between that and the horseshoe and just kind of shit in your face from there.
Yeah, and I even rang for Over against T3 on this map, and they were struggling a little bit against T3. Who doesn't, of course.
They're right.
It looks like they really cleaned it up and that was earlier in the week, so they got their shit together and put on a really strong performance here.
They did.
And again, Clinic, Insom, I see you, man. You're out here working your ass off. And Clinic played well. If you look at the frags, they hung.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of weird, actually, when you look at, like, so you have the Axis side for Over, where, like, they had Caffrey, No Name, and Sokka drop bombs. And this is a 19-point half. And then you look at Allied side, where there's, like, 2 guys over 30 and Come and Caffrey, and they lose by 110 here. Like, that's so random.
Yeah, it's just rotation. That just says rotations to me, and like I'm sure Kum and Caffrey were just flanking them on allies, and you know, getting 2 kills as they're rolling out of spawn, or even 3 sometimes, and that just sets you back at bridge.
Yeah.
So much when you're on Axis trying to get it back.
Right, believe me, our bridge team knows all about that, and our heavies leaving us to get shot in the back, right, Jared?
Yeah, I mean, I would say from playing Over, which we play them a lot, it's like those core 3 guys where you feel like you have them maybe 8 minutes into a match and you're really pressing on them, and then kind of like a switch goes off.
Yeah.
And it's either No Name, Sokka, or Caffrey that's going off and kind of like turns the tide. And then next thing you know, they're the ones in control.
Yeah.
And then they are a very momentum-esque team. They get the momentum, they know how to ride it type thing.
Exactly.
So that's one of those things where you know, they're very good at kind of rebounding in the middle of a match.
And that's not easy. It's not easy to do that after a tough start.
Sometimes, you know, like we tend to be origami, I feel like. So.
Yep. It really is. Like, you see that all of a sudden, you know, you got a few guys that can't break 10 in the first 5 minutes, and that just becomes an avalanche situation, just rolling downhill. But with these guys, that seems to motivate them to get more kills in the last 12 minutes. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm a little worried Clinic taking that week 1 loss, or excuse me, overtaking that week 1 loss has fired them up now.
Awakened them,
because they're screaming a lot.
They are.
And they're probably pissed they lost to Typical.
They might be.
1. So, and now they've already played their week 3 match, which we'll get to shortly.
Right,
but so now they got us on week 4, and they've got, you know, a week and 6 days to prepare.
Unfortunately for us.
Yeah, so not looking forward to Thunder against them. But also at the same time, those guys are always fun to play against.
Yeah.
They always bring it. Even in pregame, they're bringing it.
Yeah, they are. Jesus, they are. Can't get out of spawn.
That's over beating Clinic 221-91. And again, Clinic, we see you guys are hanging with them in frags. It's just a little bit of teamwork, and you're right there.
And on a better map.
Yeah. Again, I'm not faulting anyone for losing on this map.
Sorry, Ace. I know I've been talking a lot of shit about Hallie, but, you know, it's fine.
All right, next map we've got T3 beating Slow Loris 215 to 86.
Did cast
should be
this
towards
one.
the bottom.
Yeah, it's like the last one. So that was a blowout by all standards.
Pretty big blowout.
Hildy played out of his mind though for Slow Loris. Like,
first and foremost, I want to say, Till, get a client scheme. How many times do I got to say this?
What is this?
And I know I told him in private message, so.
It looks a little better, like it's a little darker maybe now.
Yeah,
but
I can't chastise him too much because you can actually read these.
Yeah, it's definitely better.
It's not Corey Marco screenshots.
Hey, my screenshots are right here. Where are they? Where'd they go? Right here. These are my screenshots.
I don't see a client scheme.
That is a client scheme.
Is that a client scheme?
Yeah.
Fox?
I'm not looking at his screen. I just wanted to go over maybe Soloris's roster here.
Yeah.
I don't. Who is DBOB?
No, that's DB like Dogbo, and he played for MTP in Iowa.
Yeah, he's a heavy. He's been heaving with Hopper.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Chris.
And then I do see. I mean, this. I would assume maybe this is their starting 6.
It looks like it.
I think this is what they want it to be.
Yeah, I believe so. Taking a look at their actual team here. They've got, yeah, looking at that, I mean, you got, like, these guys like Mista, Avatar, Fallen. I don't know how much any of them are going to show up. Bad News Panda. So I would think Kev maybe is the only one that they might want to have playing. I'm not sure what class.
I think Kevin, Chris W are kind of competing for that last
Okay.
main rifle spot,
Makes
and everything
sense.
else is pretty much set in stone.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I would look at this Slow Loris team. A lot of these guys maybe are just getting back into it.
Yeah.
Andrew hasn't really been on much,
No.
I would say, and he's a guy that they probably need to get on scrimming.
Yes, absolutely.
Chris W, I mean, I just remember that guy being a nuisance back in the day.
Yeah.
Whether or not he got banned for cheating, I don't really remember, but Corey always reminds me that he was. So,
He doesn't look like he's cheating these days.
well, yeah,
does not.
I
So
would
he's
like to
probably
hope.
playing legit.
But I think this is another one of those teams that where the more they play, the better they're going to get.
Exactly.
So,
Like
and
Austin will
more or
get.
less business as usual
Yeah.
for T3 here.
Yeah, of
And
course.
Brandon making he's their official 7th man and looks like he's been playing. So
He is, yeah.
And this was another match where Slow Loris hung with T3 in kills.
They
Both
did,
halves.
yeah.
They just didn't cap the flags as efficiently. So
yeah, it's probably a difficult map for 6 guys that maybe haven't played together or nor
Yeah.
really played the map much. So.
You need to be sharp in a lot of weird spots and weird angles, and like there's wall spams you got to deal with and stupid nades. It's just, it's definitely not the map that I would want to be dealing with first like 2 weeks back in the game.
it's also a great T3 rotating map because
Yeah.
PDX can jump through hole or out of hole depending
Back
on
and
where
forth.
he's filling.
Yeah.
And he was doing that the entire Allied half.
He was all
And
over the place.
Booten card the heavy route on Axis and just destroyed their bars. So
Yeah.
that's kind of why Axis got out of hand or why the Allied Slow Loris half was not as strong. Their bars could never get pushed up because Booten was just picking them off.
Unfortunately for them, yeah, and it got to the point where they felt so comfortable. Brandon was dropping his car to Till for an Unter so that Brandon could just sit there and Till could car. So
And Hildy was trying to play hero ball.
he did.
He was dropping mad frags.
He actually, I think, might have top fragged the whole server for this match. I can't tell if it's 30 or 36 on Allies. So he had 63. And Leo had 64, so he lost by 1 frag for the top frag overall.
Yeah, and I don't think that was the top frag in
No,
gold, unfortunately.
no.
He did top frag that match.
Overall in the match, I mean, yeah.
So, again, Slow Loris, like, you guys clearly can shoot just like anyone else, just as well as anyone else. Just it's the teamwork factor, and that's why you just got to keep grinding. I think the schedule is going to soften up for Slow Loris. They had 2 brutal first 2 matches.
Yeah.
So it's going to get better. The matches are going to get easier, and you guys are impressing us. I'm impressed with the practice you guys have put in.
They get PMC on Anzio, so that's not great. But
It's not perfect, but
then they get typical on Thunder. That's not great either.
Okay, well, after week 4, maybe it cleans up.
They do get Clinic, which I think that both those teams are going to be interested to see how they match up with each other there. And then it's over on Solitude. And Thunder on Shamil. Yeah, so
And then so maybe it's not going to get easier.
I think
but
you just lied to them.
I'm just trying to give them hope.
They're going to get
up
better.
With hope.
They're going to get a lot better. This is so early on. Like, Hildy is even going to get better than this. Austin is going to get a lot better. Gall and Chris are going to get a lot better. DB and how, like, they're all just back. Like, it's been 2 weeks for some of these guys. So just playing together and getting the hang of the game again is going to make them, like, we're going to be talking about a different team in, like, 2 to 4 weeks. Yeah.
I think so. So, again, that was T3 beating Slow Loris 215 to 86. And we're going to keep going here. Next match I have is Thunder beating Typical 176 to 89. This was we had 2 match of the weeks this week. This was one of them in gold.
Yeah.
And I just want to say GG to Typical.
Oh,
You guys are very stand-up players. You know, we've never had bickering issues with anyone on Typical as far as I can remember. I want to shout out J-Rod on our team. You know, I kind of, people say I invented the sending the rifle mountain strat. The reality is I stole that from Icy Hot early on in the week.
Did you now?
Yeah, because I kind of
Fucking
heard they were
Strat
considering it, and I was like, man, that kind of sounds nice. The difference is I didn't want to send a car there. I wanted to send a Stoss because
Right.
I'm a firm believer in don't give them cars and have them ace our team on the easier routes to kill with a car. So I'll take credit for that.
I feel like this is exactly
I
what
had a
Jared
feeling you
said on
would.
Sunday.
Even though I was the one
Yeah.
that said I want a car bridge.
Yeah.
So
This is what Jared said, like, at the beginning of the week. You
yeah.
liar.
So Tony.
That's neither here nor there.
Yes.
I'm gonna need to see a transcript before I sign off on
That's
that.
fair.
I
That's
said there's no reason a car should not be on bridge. It's just so much more dominant, and
Yeah.
I feel like the car can for sure be useful at, if you want to call it
Right.
mountain.
Yeah.
But I felt like the issue was you have a car mountain. It's very hard to push and hold with that car
Yeah.
because you go from an open area to close quarters, and you're almost better off just dropping the car and grabbing a bar at that point. So.
And giving them a car and letting them peek from underpass
Yeah.
to access
Yeah, that's
spawn,
not good.
those are easy kills.
Easy
so
kills.
don't do that.
That's always something to consider with routes and like where a car goes and where somebody can pick it up.
Right.
Like Harrington Long, for
Yeah.
example.
Yeah. Anytime that you can prevent the other team from having extra cars in their hands constantly on allies is a good thing to do.
So yeah, so my notes from, and I'm just speaking from our experience in the match, J-Rod's mountain presence really kept the pressure off Jules, which allowed Jules to be
Yeah.
Jules.
And he
just
did.
play how he plays.
Yeah.
Dorito and Tox are car stars. I mean, that's business as usual. They really went crazy on Axis Half and really held down Bridge and kept Nightmare guessing. And then I did want to bring up Nightmare. Best sniper in DOD.
He is.
Is there even a close second?
I mean,
no offense to Patton or to you.
Wow.
Or
Dick.
to these other really good snipers like Hildy, and I'm not gonna go through them all. But, I just don't. Does any sniper look forward to that matchup against Nightmare?
I would think not. No.
Because he's unreal, and he kept their team in this, especially on when they were Axis, preventing us from capping his allies.
He was just killing everybody who went for the first flag.
And
the
we
last,
did not
like,
get
8
a cap
minutes.
out on allies,
No.
which was honestly had me shaking in my boots a little bit going into second half.
I don't know how we managed to get one on Axis. Did we get 2
I don't
on
either.
Axis? I don't even.
No,
remember.
we only got one, but
Okay.
it was. I think it was just another J-Rod running home.
Yeah, he does like to do that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was the one that capped out
He
there,
is.
Tony.
Oh,
But
okay. So,
Tony.
First, you assume I know what's going on at the Axis first. I didn't even see the Axis first, that whole Axis half, because my plan was to not let them into Mountain.
I think how to like play that map. It's weird because you can't all push at once and die, otherwise you lose bridge.
Right.
It can happen on a whim. And I think on that cap we were kind of just Corey, we can see what you're writing.
I'm trying to let him know that he's got to, because we were going a little
we can
far
always just
here.
pause it and pick up. No,
We can pause it and pick it back up.
We can.
Corey's got to go pick up his mommy.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so we're probably going to take a little break here and we'll come back. And we'll probably edit this out that I'm talking now. So.
Or maybe I'll leave it in.
Or maybe leave it in.
Motherfucker.
All right, kill it.
Yeah.
All right, we're back here. We're going to take a quick break there. No big deal. Coming back to Thunder Typical. Just going to go ahead and finish that up real quick. Again, GG Typical. My MVP was J-Rod, but I did want to shout out Dorito and Tox. Really played well for us. Milo, as always, was a pain in the ass dealing with. Cage played well, and Nightmare is the best sniper in DOD. So any last thoughts on Typical Thunder, Corey?
No, I got nothing. Jared, I know, was talking about the cap out that he got that you tried to give J-Rod credit for.
Yes, I guess I don't know, it's like slowly applying pressure at all points, really, and it ended up working out in our favor. Usually when you try that, you tend to all die and lose bridge. I will go down and say that they may be the most unhittable team.
Yeah.
Over. Forget
over.
I don't know. Something like, I know Matt maybe died more times than he liked, but I could have sworn I'd 90'd him and then shot a second shot at him, and then he stared at me and shot me in the head with stops several times over in that match.
It did seem they ran their unhittable roster out at us.
Yeah, although Baron wasn't there, and he's hard to hit, too.
Honestly, I think that Matt played against them. Their fast-paced team, naturally. and we really slowed it down for them, especially second half.
Yeah.
And then when we got them panicking when we were on Axis, even though it's the harder half to cap, we kind of forced that advantageous cap moment by making them flood a few spots, and we just, we're sitting in crossfire positions.
Yeah, and
Easy kills.
Corey Price and Nine kind of, I remember rewatching that stream, and they picked that up, and they kind of saw what our game plan was. Just don't all push and die.
Yeah, exactly. And good job to Nine and Corey too. They actually did a really good job casting. That was fun to
they
watch.
did.
It's not easy to do, and it can be tough once you get started. You kind of like lose the flow a little bit at any point in time, and they kept it going right from start to finish.
So much so that maybe Nine will pick up a couple more
Yeah.
matches here and there, just get his Twitch page a little more views. So.
Right. I like it. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, they did great, and I do hope they keep going. So again, Thunder over typical 176 to 89. GG's typical. And let's move on to the last match of Gold last week, and this was the match of the week.
It was.
How do we keep picking them, Corey? My God,
man,
we're
just too easy.
Nostradamus in this beast. So
we
it was
know.
PMC over Icy Hot, 149 to 145.
An unfortunate turn of events after our guest host Matt Rogers said he was going to bury them 6 feet under, and PMC came out on top by 4 feet.
And I think we all picked Icy Hot too.
Yeah.
But I will say, before the cast, if you remember, when we did cast this one, I said it feels like a PMC night on a PMC map before the match.
You did.
That's on record. You could go back, you could check the tape.
It's on record.
So I don't know what overcame me. What's the spirit of Palcoon must have entered me,
He did enter you
against my will, and I just rolled with it. I went with it, and what do you know? They pulled it out.
You could
Did you get to see this one, Tox?
I did not.
It was good.
Because after Matt's, words, I expected it to be a blowout.
Done deal.
They were apparently blowing us out in every scrim. So
they were.
Granted, I wasn't there, but
I thought that for sure.
Every time you scrimmed them, they were spanking you around, and I just figured, they would have done the same to PMC. But that's why you played a match.
Yeah.
So for some reason, people type record. They're just not the same players sometimes.
And Element also was I think he just dominated that one side of the map with rifles, and that really was the difference maker, I think, in the end. He top fragged going whatever heavy route, mountainside long, whatever you want to call it.
Is what I've ended up calling it.
Yeah, and he was I think he went 67 and 40 or something like that overall.
He ended up with 69 maybe, is where it was at?
Let's see, 35 and 31. 66 and 47,
66, okay.
Yeah.
Still, though, huge impact on that route against Kanga, Modgers, the meat.
And Sick, mostly.
And Sick over there a lot, too. Sick played a lot of bridge, though, as well.
He did, yeah.
And here's the thing. I'm not sure if Icy Hot, because, like I said, I stole their strategy of sending a rifle mountainside.
Right.
It felt like they thought they could get away with not doing that on Axis, and it hurt them, in my opinion.
Yeah, there was a little bit less of it going on that half. I think they were more concerned with hanging on to bridge as much as they could, and it ended up, kind of going against them there.
Yeah, I think that works if you take that extra guy, and then once you get bridge, you send him through the mid-connector hole or something.
And it felt like they just couldn't get bridge that half, really, a lot of the time.
And we're praising Element a lot here, but PB was actually huge streaking.
Yeah,
at the end of the second half. That led to a cap out.
Yep, and that's obviously, in the end, the difference maker in a 4-point win.
And he was hitting some classic PB pixel shots right around a box. Very reminiscent to him in semifinals on Thunder 2 last season.
Back when you were casting.
That's true, yeah. I was solo casting, that's true, because, you left me Garth at the... on the screen,
I was acing the toilet.
It's still a great showing by PB. I thought the heavies played pretty well overall for PMC, even though they kind of were a little outgunned at times. They still held their own. Crod will just flank you when you least expect it.
Yeah.
And God, he's tough to play against because he's hard to keep track of.
He is. He's all over the place.
So he was doing a lot of that. Good map for that, for sure.
Oh,
So.
yeah. And Paul on Allies played it really well.
I did. My notes says Paul sent Stealth back to silver.
Yeah.
Obviously, I love Kevin. But, man, Icy Hot has got to solidify this roster.
Yeah, I mean, normally it's
like,
the Bear, right? Like, that's who's missing.
And he's having real-life issues, so I get why he can't play. That's unfortunate. We wish you the best, Bear. Hope everything's going okay for you.
Friend of the podcast.
But I think KO is not able to play default. So they literally are playing with 5 sometimes, and yeah, I don't know. They need another backup. They might need a sniper. I do not know what they're gonna do. I'm a little worried about them.
I'm sure there's someone out there that can fill in for him in that spot. There's been players coming back all over the place lately. It's random as hell.
Yeah, and there's still plenty of time for roster locks, so they could maybe poach someone from silver if they have to go that route.
True.
And maybe find a reliable 7th.
Maybe Lurfool if, Nogo can't get him any playing time.
And nothing against Kevin, who I thought was fully capable of sniping this match.
Well, he just has
and still played really well.
Unless they're going to pick up stealth. Maybe they are going to pick up stealth. You never know.
I don't think stealth's going to turn on fast Loris, but you never know.
Yeah, that's true.
I think Paul Kuhn is on his best day a top 3 sniper in the game.
Oh, yeah.
And he had one of those. He's showing up and being a top 3 sniper day, especially on Allies.
Yeah, on Allies he wasn't.
So
missing.
poor stealth. That's a tough heads up match.
Yeah,
against the snipers.
And I know they're probably one of their last couple scrims before the match was against us, sniping against me, where he knows that we can just shoot no scopes at each other if it comes to that.
Yeah,
it's a little different.
Little friendly no scope.
Yeah,
the map
exactly. Yeah.
What do you think, Tox? Is Icy Hot kind of heading down a dark path here without a solid 6?
I don't know what's going on with the Bear, but I guess you guys can fill me in later. But I guess that would be a concern. I know that initially maybe Kanga, you said, might be sniping on this squad. So
right, if they could find a different class to play.
I'm looking at the roster now. KO, if he can't play matches do not have to be played on default.
Yeah.
So it's more of just a fallback in the event that you guys cannot agree on a day to play. This is the day. So
yeah.
But yeah, they would definitely. They got a solid 5 guys. You definitely want to make sure you have a sniper week in, week out, and a guy dedicated to that role. So,
because those other 5 guys is really a great, well-constructed team with Bees on the rifle again. He's going to be just dominating all the time. And Vertax is one of the best players in the game. Sick is proving his mettle in gold. And then Matt and Jesse are a strong, heavy team. You just got to find that 6th.
Yes, and who's Jackson L? Is that?
That's the no luck Jackson.
That's Craig Jackson.
That's Craig Jackson.
And he has no intention of playing. As far as
I figured that.
Yeah.
And Lunar, last I saw, Lunar was probably Kentucky land. So.
Yeah. Right.
So we're a couple of years out for these
back
of the end bench players.
They may want to get somebody else on there.
Yeah.
We may need to revamp our free agents list. I know Laura was asking, so.
That is true. I think it's pretty outdated now.
It's definitely something needs to be brought up for discussion, that maybe you shouldn't be allowed to stack 10 people on your bench.
Yeah, at the same, we had these kind of discussions amongst the admins, and some people are backups just to be that, which is a backup.
Right.
So the idea that having these big rosters shortened or capped will create more teams isn't really. I don't know if that'll come to fruition because a lot of these people they don't want to commit to playing. It's just hey, I want to be on your roster and maybe fill in.
Right.
And we are noticing that people are moving around in the event that they're not going to play. So I think there's a handful of people out there that may be in a situation where they're on a roster and they want to play and they can't. And in the end, they'll probably find teams.
Exactly. Yeah. There was just another one of those moves, I think today or yesterday, where somebody left a team because it was well, I'm never going to get to play with this team, so I want to find somewhere else. So.
And just for example, Nogo, everyone has played this season besides Ken and Lerf, who just joined.
Yeah. They use
And
Blue.
I don't think Koi's played this
What
season.
about
but
Blue Revolver?
And Blue Revolver hasn't played this
Okay,
season.
so bad
Koi
example.
scrimmed, and Blue is obviously a novelty ad.
Yeah.
Maybe he plays someday. I don't know. He's been talking in Discord a little bit, which is
Okay.
a good sign. Nogo would love to have him. I mean,
of course.
they're having a little sniper identity crisis themselves. So.
Even though it's pretty obvious who should be their sniper. It's
Yeah. Well, Jayan may not be available in later weeks is the issue. So now it's like, I like I said, I could write a book on no-go, so I won't get too deep into it, but I do agree with Tox in that capping rosters will not necessarily increase teams, and it could ultimately hurt teams that are already banking on those deep backups.
Right. Because looking at our backups, we got if anyone thinks that us dropping, like Ryan and Fusion and Pat, like those guys aren't playing. They're just there, that's not.
Steve.
Or Steve,
players.
Yeah, those are more novelty ads.
Yeah. They're just there, so. There's no Thunder 2 to be had.
But just come full circle on PMC and Icy Hot. Big grats to PMC on a huge team win.
The Pinto Bowl.
The Pinto Bowl, won by Corey Pinto.
Yeah.
So I think we're 1-1 now? Or does he have a 2-0 advantage on Vertex? He has a 2-0 advantage
He does have a 2-0 advantage on Vertex,
Now, I'll have to double check these screenshots from last season because I have a feeling maybe one of Corey or Casey didn't play.
No, they were there. They were both there.
Wow, so CK is 2-0 on his brother.
Yeah, I mean Casey's outplaying him individually in those matches
for sure, but
by a lot.
I'm talking about
wins,
winning the match.
Yeah, by W.
And it's CK 2-0.
It is.
And damn, I forgot to check. Tox, do you know who's the older Pinto brother?
No, I think it's Corey.
That's what everyone keeps telling me.
And Corey Margo says it's
I
Casey.
said it was Casey. Yeah. I don't know why I think that.
You're the only one I've heard say Casey.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Corey has like 9 kids, so I would assume he's
right? Yeah, that's true.
Well, I remember Corey back in the day. So
I remember Vertex back in the day too, though.
I remember seeing Vertex later in the day, but
they were
Corey,
HSB boys.
Corey might have been in Calo the same first season I was. Maybe he was in the season after, but
there also have been a lot of crazy killers. Like there was a crazy killer in Invite back when CK would have been like fucking 8 years old. So it could have been someone else.
I digress. I think Corey's the older brother.
We're gonna find this out.
We will. We'll get to the bottom of this hopefully by the end of the DODCAST. But either way, great win for PMC, and a win they really wanted and needed. Because I don't know. I heard them spying on them a little bit, and they said they had to win one of the first 3 weeks, or they were in trouble.
Wasn't it 2 out of the first 4?
Or they wanted to go, I think, 2-2 in the first 4 weeks at worst. So they're on their way there.
They're in good shape for it.
They're in good shape. And, I wouldn't be surprised if they've climbed back into the top 3 after week 3 and 4.
Right. It's going to be big matches.
Big matches coming up for gold for sure. And that is the last gold match.
Perfect segue into...
Well, I did want to give the gold MVP out real quick.
Oh, yes.
And I am giving it to Element this week.
Yeah, understandably.
For his heroism on the mountain routes. And he didn't even have to bust out the carbine.
He did not. He went full
That's
Garand.
how you know he was trucking. Honorable mentions, though, also to No Name, J-Rod, and Leo.
J-Rod, all right, yeah.
All players I thought had impactful performances this week. Just Elements was more dramatic.
In a close match, yeah.
Yeah, in our match of the week. In the spotlight, Monday night DOD,
yeah.
Or Sunday night DOD.
Primetime DOD.
And I did get a quick note from Statman Modgers, who was working on stats.
Uh-huh.
Both top fraggers in silver and gold had 69 frags.
Nice.
So nice there. Hilarious. All right.
That's beautiful.
Anyways, and hopefully, I think stats will be going public soon. I don't want to misspeak on that.
Yeah, so don't misspeak. We don't know.
So I don't know. That's just my intuition.
Maybe they'll wait till the end of the season.
Yeah, maybe.
We don't know.
Matt did just drop a link. So maybe he is testing some stuff out. So maybe.
Looks like it. Yeah, we got a maybe here.
I got to think he's going to release him at some point.
Yeah.
They can't just be for him.
It could be for his own
to
personal.
make a point, he just pulls out. According to my stats.
According to my stats, you're only the 12th best player. Yeah. That would be pretty fucking hilarious, though.
That would be. All right. Tox, any last words on week 2 before we move on?
No, I think so far so good. All matches played. Even some week 3 matches have been played already.
Yeah.
So, so far so good. And we only have better things to come. So
Exactly.
All right,
Good.
and that brings us to week 3, which is DOD_Anzio.
Yeah. The big one.
A classic map for classic people. Not necessarily classic people,
Not
but
necessarily, yeah.
first matchup of the week we have is Moose Knuckles versus Sleepers.
Oh, yeah. I like that matchup.
And right off the bat, I'm going to tell you Quack Duck and Spade are my players to watch
Yeah.
on Moose Knuckles.
They've been
putting in the work.
That David LOLOL guy. Keep an eye on him.
David
He was
LOLOL.
just I definitely have seen him in pubs.
So he definitely plays, at least, yeah.
I saw he recently joined the 1.3 Discord, too.
Nice.
So.
Yes.
This could be the X factor for Moose Knuckle here.
Is this a Source David? There was a Source David who was pretty good.
Could be.
For Source, but...
Can't confirm or deny.
Oh, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens with this guy and watch his career as it blooms.
I forgot I can edit this fucking document, and I just almost clicked and did something like an idiot, so I gotta remember that.
Jesus.
Again.
For Sleepers, I've got the big 3, Matt, Vanock, and Barinia.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Definitely want to keep an eye on those guys. Pretty straightforward pred here, guys. This is Anzio, this is Sleepers versus Moose Knuckles, so it's going to be probably a blowout by Sleepers.
Yeah.
These guys are steamrolling right now.
They look great.
I'm just going to go ahead and say Sleepers by 4 caps.
I think that's a safe bet, yeah.
I know that's a lot, but I mean, we're just talking about potentially the best team in Silver.
Yeah, and they are so active, and they're good players that are still improving, that want to get better at the game. Like, that's their goal.
I will say, Chi does not love Anzio, and he'll be the first to admit it, so he may be the guy holding down Street the whole time, and just let Matt go crazy.
Which is fine, because Matt will do that happily.
On the flip side, I know Matt's comfortable holding Street himself and letting Chi maybe go sewers to Bridge or to Plaza, wherever he wants to go.
And you could see a weird situation of throwing, because I know that Chai does like to bust out the Unter. You could see him go Bridge with that even. Go a little...
That wouldn't be surprising.
Unter of Pain.
I think they will definitely send a card double windows on Axis.
Yeah.
And play pretty straightforward in that sense.
Which I like.
I can't remember who they played last season on Anzio.
Sleepers might have been... No, it wasn't Heavyweights. They played No-Go.
No, yeah, Heavyweights played No-Go.
I mean, I can check.
What are you talking about? Season?
Yeah,
season,
first, yeah.
They played No Regards.
Oh, okay, wow.
Or Clinic.
Yeah, so that would have probably...
So
looks like...
They lost by a lot.
Yeah.
They lost by a lot, so yeah.
About 300. That's like 8 caps.
And that was before they've made these recent additions,
yeah.
too. And still early in the
that
season
was week 2
season.
last season.
And
I felt like they were a team that definitely got stronger as the season went on.
Absolutely. They were so active. They were improving, like, just week to week, day to day. And No Regard went undefeated. That's Clinic. They're in upper now. And that makes me think that 4 caps is a little bit low for that win for Sleepers this week. I think that looking at how much Clinic beat them by, you could see Sleepers put up like a 5 to 6 cap victory here.
Definitely. And at first I was thinking that much, but I kind of have faith in Moose Knuckles to at least slow it down, stop the bleeding somewhat. It's Anzio. It's a little easier to do that on.
It's an easy enough adjustment for sure.
And again, if Quack Duck can get rolling on Bridge,
it's
possible.
He is ridiculous. It's really something to marvel at.
See, I think we're all in consensus taking Sleepers here. I've got him by 4 caps. Corey's thinking more like 6. Tox, I don't know if you wanted to make full-on pred since you are, the Dodfather. No offense to Dodfather.
I think we can make some predictions. I would definitely go with Sleepers in this. Anzio may not seem like it's their map, so it might end up being a little closer, maybe.
Yeah, that's very possible.
Maybe keep an eye on that.
That could be interesting, right?
Yeah, I think this is a map they struggle on, if you can say they struggle on any maps as a team.
Right.
Probably one of their worst ones.
I'm going to be the one who looks like the wrong one here. I'm going to be way off with 6 caps.
Yeah, anytime it feels like we pick the big blowout, it's the exact
Yeah,
opposite.
it never
So,
goes that way. I mean, Matt picked washed up to lose by 350, and they lost by like 10. So
yeah.
we
Nice.
picked it
Almost
closer.
Matt.
We
I
picked it
think
closer.
Matt may have been day drinking during that
Yeah.
podcast or something.
It's
You
possible.
know, he was taking big swings on the points. That's why I kind of just say a cap or two. You know? I
Yeah.
don't really put the point, 300. Damn.
You don't want to nail yourself down like that.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's Moose Knuckles versus Sleepers, and hopefully we get time on that, and maybe even get that casted.
Oh yeah.
All right, next match is CIS versus Love Me Not.
Okay.
A little worried about CIS.
It's gonna be a tough one again.
Yeah, luckily this is a map that they'll at least have some understanding.
They have added some guys.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
A couple more players are on there.
Yeah.
that's good. So maybe
Their
they're
capabilities, I'm not sure.
Unsure.
But,
Yeah.
you know,
They are still playing like regularly, so they will keep getting better. And Riley, Staffer, Azilla, Shika, all those guys like are getting about 30 kills a half. So they just need to fill out those other 3 spots. Talent-wise, they just got to get a little bit better there. Which they will. Like if they keep playing at this rate, they're only going to get better. But
the more you play, the better you get.
Yeah. It is Love Me Not, which is a lot of guys who are really good and, they know their shit. And they've even added some guys too.
Yeah, and I think for CIS they have Riley Staffer, they have KKF, they have Shika,
Yep.
and they have
Azilla.
Azila, and I think that those 4 are a good core to build around.
Yeah, absolutely.
So as long as they can keep those 4 people interested, and Riley Staffer can fill out the rest of the roster as needed, they're gonna be fine.
Yeah,
They're just got to keep getting reps, like we've been saying, and eventually they're gonna surprise someone.
Oh,
one of
without
these
a
weeks.
doubt. Yeah. Anyone,
Might
someone's
be
going
this
to take them. It could be. You never
Not
know.
a great matchup, but we know Love Me Not loves to sleep on their opponent and then shit the bed, for lack of a better term.
But they did put their roster out last week looking the way that I had hoped it would be, where they, it was Colin and Hamburger rifling and Devin sniping and, what was it, Cody and who was the other heavy? Tyson?
Cody and...
What are you naming? You didn't name any of the right people, I don't think.
I think I did.
Is he
Yeah,
just
yeah.
naming people on...
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah, it was, okay, so we had Cody and technically
CLT.
Coffee. Yeah.
They only used 1 bar on allies.
Yeah. So that's why it threw me off. So it was just, I was thinking low carb was the 3rd, but I forgot coffee is going to be the 3rd.
You see, well, this is what's hilarious about this roster is you have coffee and low carb who
Yeah.
neither want the bar.
Neither, yep.
So I'm surprised low carb even rolled out with the rifle.
Yeah, you went Garan Stas and coffee went Tommy Unter.
Yeah.
I love it.
So there you go. It's gonna be like that all season for those guys. So
Yeah, I see this being a one-sided match.
Yeah.
Regardless of maybe who
Right.
Love Me
Anyone.
Not puts out.
Whatever their 6 is.
I think CIS has kind of got some of the tougher teams to begin with, and then, as they maybe tend to play more, get a little better, they might be playing a little more equal competition in the later weeks.
Yeah,
So I
exactly.
think that's when you definitely want to keep an eye on some of those matches maybe going their way.
Right? And I think that's cool. That's something they can look forward to. Like, they're going through a little bit of a gauntlet right now, playing against the top teams, and they're going to get better through that. And then when they play against, like, in the teams where they feel like they had a chance to win already, and then they're getting better, it's going to look real good for them in that last, 2-3 week span. But this week, unfortunately, is not that week yet.
no, I agree. This is gonna be another growing pain for CIS, and hopefully they can just get better. Like, keep practicing, get Anzio down, and then put your best team forward, put your best attempt forward on Sunday, and I don't know, maybe they pull some magic.
Just don't let it bring you down, a loss.
Definitely. Like you guys, if you're watching, we think you guys are great, and we see you getting better, and we love the heart.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Be willing to play us once, and then after that, be like, want to do another one, is more than a lot of the teams in gold do, to be honest with you. So,
including us.
Yeah, we usually we're like one and done. We're out. We're done. So just keep doing what you're doing.
So I think my final prediction will be Love Me Not by 5 caps.
5 caps. All right. I think that's safe. Yeah.
All right. So let's let's move on to the next matchup, which is DreamWorks versus Washed Up.
Okay.
And this is, again, DreamWorks, what are we going to see? This
Yeah.
might be a map they're a little more inspired on.
Definitely. I think so.
Maybe they get a scrim in or two this week.
That would be all. That's really all I'm waiting to see out of DreamWorks is them to scrim even once a week, and I think that will be what propels them to being able to beat some of these teams that, like, if they were active, they would definitely be beating.
And again, I can't even fully knock them because they could be scrimming in
And we
Brazil
wouldn't know, yeah.
scrims or something, and we wouldn't know, yeah. So I don't think that's happening, but it could be.
It could be. I don't think they are. I think
One
you'd
day
be
I'm
able to
gonna
tell.
get boots on the ground in Brazil and figure out what's going on in that scene.
We could ask around. Maybe we should.
I need to get Chi, like 10 minutes with Chi, and just have
Yeah.
him fill me in on the scene.
Please. Because, yeah, I feel like if
I
DreamWorks...
think, getting Chi maybe on one of these as like that kind of.
Oh, he's definitely on the list.
Right, he
Yeah.
is, yeah. He's a guest that will be on here at one point. But yeah, like, you look at Rods, I don't know how much he's playing in between these matches, but both matches he's had over 60 kills and done crazy things, because that's Rods for you. And C did really well on the heavy in both matches. Missoura did great on Harrington, but had a little bit of trouble on Halley. Sillyhand, it looked like didn't play on Halley, and he wasn't even rifling on Harrington, but he's a rifle. So once he starts rifling, I think you'll see a lot more out of him.
Yeah, again, I think they just threw 6 out there for this week. And
Yeah.
the 200 deaths on Axis really tells me that they didn't care about the map that much. They just wanted to get through this week.
And
hopefully
obviously
their spirits aren't hurt too bad.
No, I don't think they will.
And this is Anzio. This is a great map, so
this is the fun time.
they should be fired up for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe got to reach out to Cass because there's probably some, other guys down in South America that if he needed some help with, maybe are out there. Fail doesn't have a squad. Heavyweights doesn't have a squad.
Exactly.
So
lots of talented players that are probably willing to be active,
Yeah, so hopefully he can maybe grab a few of those and maybe stabilize a little bit on this roster.
Yeah.
On the flip side, Washed Up is kind of the last team you want to run into right
Yeah.
now in Silver. Like, they are just fired up. They're scrimming. Their starting 6 is looking like it's got some synergy, which is always exciting.
They definitely
and that's pretty cool for a group that Bullet just kind of put together on the fly.
Right? Yeah, I did not see that coming.
I really got to give Bullet props on team construction here. He's put together a fun roster, and some of these guys are really breaking out, like Arachnid and Bromley.
Yeah. And secretly Will, like he looks good already, and he is
secretly he's just good.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even say he's breaking out.
If they're not looking washed up, they might be in need of a
new team,
change, right?
Yep.
True. Some specialists.
Give him the spec name.
I know we all wanted spec.
Yeah.
maybe Bullets. That's the carrot. Like
it
boys, if we win silver and we get moved up, we're going spec.
We can bring back IRC to get the old channel up so we can PM Bullet in there.
Get him his own Discord.
Yeah, he's always looking. Pound spec, PM Bullet. He's not looking anymore, though, because these guys got a solid 6. Everybody's playing well, and they got multiple guys who are already playing well and have a shit ton of room to get even better with Arachnid and Secretly and Bromley. Like, the very bare minimum of their skill potential right now, and are only going to get scarier and scarier as the weeks go on.
War Within, too.
War Within, yep.
Every week he's getting better as a heavy, so... And Godfather seems content to just let War Within flourish.
Yeah.
And Godfather will clean up after him, which is awesome.
It is. It's a good way to have a heavy team set up.
So I actually have War Within as one of my players to watch this week because I think he's going to be on with a bar. He's going to be dominating.
Right.
NTO. I feel like this is a map for him.
I agree.
And, obviously, I had to put Arachnid on there. It's a sniper on Anzio. Like this guy feels like a lock for 30 kills. Axis half.
He's a beast. I did not like sniping against him. I got to feel his weight on me in a scrim, and I didn't love it.
For DreamWorks, Mazu and C, again, the people I'm keeping my eye on.
Yeah. So Rods.
Rods, yeah.
Not to be confused with Missoura, the sniper.
That's right, yeah.
Because Rods has been playing in the matches as Mizzou.
Yeah, it's M4ZU.
Yeah, so it does get a little confusing, but that is rods. I mean, Missouri will probably do well this week, too.
And C is the heavy, right?
Yes, C is the heavy,
Yeah.
yeah.
And C's been playing pretty consistent, too.
He
so
has,
I've been
yeah.
liking that. Having said that, I do see a washed-up blowout here, barring some DreamWorks signs of life this week.
It's possible.
So I'm taking washed up by 4 caps.
I'm going washed up by 2 caps.
Okay, you're going to come back down a little
I think
bit.
because DreamWorks, they all know this map very well. It's second nature to them. I think they'll be able to keep it a little bit closer.
What do you think, Tox?
I think I would maybe more so in line with Corey there.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just second nature to these guys. They're such old school players. I could see Sillyhand coming back and playing this week because he was always a huge pain in the dick to rifle against on bridge. And I could see that just being something that he can do in his sleep.
My thought process is washed up is looking forward to what is on paper a softer matchup.
True.
And they will be trying to run it up to make up for some of those points lost.
Yeah, that's true. They could. And they will be scrimming, for sure.
Absolutely,
I know
yeah.
for a fact
So-
they're scrimming tonight.
And if there's one thing I think we can all agree with, it's that being prepared on Anzio gets you a lot further than not being prepared.
Yes.
And can lead to cap outs.
Absolutely.
Just by knowing the timings and knowing good rotates and just being on the same page as your teammates going the same routes as well as the other routes. When you just go in cold to an Anzio match, it can be a nightmare easily.
Yeah, you don't luck into
Especially if you're
caps.
like rifling an Allied Bridge or something.
Yeah. Oh god, it can get ugly if
Just
you're
that
not ready.
super last season playing
Yeah.
for Skull. How that
Yeah.
went.
Seriously, that was rough.
We're
for
still
him.
looking for him. We got him on a milk
He's
cart.
gone.
We haven't seen him.
He's gone. DOD is not a thing to him anymore.
But anyways, so again, we're all taking washed up here. These two guys by 2 caps. I'm giving them a little bit more up to 4.
Okay. We'll
All right,
see.
and let's just move straight into our match of the week in silver this week. It's Fast Loris versus The Price is Right.
Oh yeah. Another
And,
good one.
Yeah, and again, Fast Loris is going to have an extra week to prepare for this.
Oh yeah, because
they've
they had to
probably
buy,
been-
yeah.
They've probably been practicing Anzio a little more than Washed Up has had a chance to. But still, I still like Washed Up in this match. And it's really, if Kevin Self-Gardner can continue to drop 50 bombs, anything's possible. I'll say that.
It's getting crazy. I mean, he had 96 kills on Harrington. 96. It's truly appalling to me as a sniper.
Stealth and Hey Hi are definitely my players to watch for Fast Loris.
Yeah.
On the flip side, HXT and Recoil. Recoil had a rough match last week, but I think he's going to bounce back nicely here on Anzio.
He's good at Anzio for sure.
He's always been a really good Anzio sniper.
And
HXT,
Taylor is a good Anzio heavy too.
Exactly. This is a map he's always thrived on. And he's clearly making Allen better, or something's making Allen better, because Allen's quite a bit better here.
He is.
And I'm just going to count it as HXT rubbing off on him and teaching him things. When you play with the heavy who's got the experience that HXT has, you're going to learn some things.
Look at Tony Compton and Jules.
Exactly. I've been teaching Jules a lot. I've been getting, helping him improve his game, bringing him out of the darkness, if you will.
Slowly but surely.
Yeah, and I think we've got him in a good spot. So
yeah, he went
really
18-0.
Jules, you've been working hard.
18-0 in CS:GO last night.
Yeah, 18-0 in CS:GO last night. Made the other team surrender.
Yeah, they did instantly. This is a true story.
That was awesome, and that's empowerment. That's what I bring.
Yeah, that's all what Tony's giving him. But yeah, I mean, really, you can see that the influence Taylor has on Allen's game as a heavy. He's looked a lot better. They're a great heavy duo. And like I said, Recoil looking like he'll have a bounce back week. I did see Dillard playing DOD last night, and he just got added to the roster. So I'm curious to see if he gets some reps in.
Yeah, Price is Right is the first team to fill out the column.
Yeah.
With rostered players. So I was thinking Thunder might actually accomplish that.
Nope.
But
They beat
Price
us
is
to
Right.
it.
Pulled it off. I like the narrative here, the ProOnlyFans Civil War here, if you will, because it's like half, Laura, Corey, and Bill, and I guess that was it, just Laura from ProOnlyFans last season.
Yeah.
These are two teams that kind of spawned from that breakup, and
They did.
And a little grudge match here, maybe from Laura versus Corey here.
Absolutely. I think she would love to win this match.
I think she would too, and I know Bilbasaut's not going to make it easy on anyone.
No.
He's probably scouted the hell out of this one.
He's got spots for sure. He's got spots. He just like swimming around on Hallie was the game plan going in there. Clearly, I'm sure he's got something cooked up for this week too.
He's probably gonna be running those sewers. What do you think, Tox?
I think the Price is Right takes this easily.
Probably.
Taylor takes control of Plaza.
Yep.
As long as Recoil and Corey can do what they do, I think it'll be too much for Kevin to really handle.
Yeah. Because, I mean, Taylor really on Plaza, like we having played with him on the 5.5 men team, that was like his map there. You didn't have to worry about much in Plaza when Taylor was going there. He loves to go that route, and that's going to be trouble for whoever's going there against him. And then Corey on bridge can be such a pain in the ass. Same with Recoil. It would take a lot of really, really high tier performances from Fast Loris to overcome that.
To me, it comes down to how Price is Right takes this last week, where they appeared vulnerable but still pulled out a win. Are they going to say, okay, we handled that even though they practiced really hard despite us really caring about this week? Or do we need to get our shit together a little more because we may not have this division locked up like we thought? If it's the former, Fast Loris could surprise some people here.
Yeah, you don't want to sleep
them,
on it.
I don't have that confidence. Not quite there yet, so
Yeah.
I will be taking Price is Right by a cap.
Okay, going with one cap?
Just one cap. I think it's going to be close.
All right, I'm saying 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say 3 to 4.
Yeah.
Okay, so interesting, yeah. And again, I'm kind of going by last week more than overall on paper. So
Tony's feeling left
tough.
out.
It's tough judging a Halley match
Yeah,
compared
for
to
sure.
an Anzio.
it's a weird one. Weird shit happens on that map. Cap outs happen so randomly on Halley. Like, you never know how that's going to pan out on something like Anzio, where you don't luck into caps. Like, the caps come because your team is doing something right.
I will say, hey, higher twist. One of them is going to have a big night to
Yeah.
offset HXC and Allen.
Gotta lock those guys down, and just even if you can't hold Plaza, you gotta hold Street. So key.
All right, well, that's the last match in silver. The last team on bye is No-Go, which will bring them to 3-0.
They are the top team. Says it right there.
So let's just go ahead and jump into gold, Corey.
Yeah. Oh boy.
First match, Over versus T3.
I think
Already
Over's
been
going to
played.
take this one. I think they'll take it by about 103.
That's a bold prediction.
I know.
And if you actually had made this like 2 days ago, I would have called you.
That was.
I think. I don't know if you would. I don't know. I don't know if I'd agree with that. I
Yeah.
think Over is a very, very good Anzio team.
They are.
As much as Till likes to claim that they are a really good Anzio team, I don't think they've shown that yet.
Nah, I haven't seen. I mean, last season T3 played typical on Anzio, and the match was literally saved in the last minute by a Leo shot on bridge that broke. Like, they had just had to cap bridge to cap out, and that was how they won. Was because Leo hit that shot.
And that was against Typical?
Against typical, yeah. Last season's typical too.
Yeah. So, I mean, T3 is obviously not the juggernaut they are in Harrington on Anzio.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree with that. Over is the juggernaut on Anzio.
They are, yeah.
on Harrington.
So those guys, like,
obviously advantage over there. Now we could KTE all day about Leo not playing for T3.
Oh yeah.
And that was the cause. But I thought 50 played pretty well, all things considered.
Yeah, and that's a tough
I don't
bridge
want to
team.
sit on this match.
Nah,
too long,
yeah, we'll wait till next
But
week.
I will say the Over rifles on Allies were superb.
Yep.
And it was so weird because Over held bridge as Allies almost the entire half.
Yeah.
It felt like, but they didn't have Plaza.
A lot of the time. Yeah, Till and PDX and Bud were doing really well.
So clearly that's the heavy hitters going Plaza for T3, and I think we all thought that Till should have sent PDX bridge more there, or even himself gone, because just a weird Axis half where you don't have bridge, and it cost them cap outs.
It did, yeah. That was the difference maker. Was the 3 allied bridge players for Over all had over 30 kills, and Jizz top frag, No Name and Sokka were right behind him, and they were just causing hell everywhere.
And again, great adjustments by Over. They went down 2 quick caps first half and rallied back from that and never gave up a cap after that, if I'm not mistaken.
They had, from what I recall, they had Mata going predominantly double windows and Plaza, and they gave up 2 caps, and then they swapped Sokka over to Plaza, and Sokka ended up top fragging going Plaza. And, clearly they ended up, it paid off. It worked out for them.
So GG Over taking down, giving T3 their first loss.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's just keep going here. Next is Thunder versus Clinic. We're not going to get into that since we are Thunder for the most part.
Yeah, all of
I
us.
just going to say good luck, have fun. We're looking forward to it. We love the Clinic guys.
Oh, yeah.
Big fans of them. Not looking forward to Insom dumping on
No,
us
not
at
looking
all.
forward to that.
So that'll be fun. Good luck, have fun, Clinic. And the next match is PMC versus Slow Loris.
Okay.
Again, another on paper that looks like a PMC blowout, especially if they get their main roster out there.
Right, it's a tough draw for Slow Loris again
Definitely.
here.
I did want to mention PMC did end up getting a backup. They got Justin Lynch.
Oh yeah, that's
so
right.
a really good backup
Oof.
for PMC.
That
They've
is.
been missing that.
Wow, yeah, that's.
I think Justin may have issues with
activity.
Match.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think so
Works.
too. Yeah.
So maybe he's more of like a, hey, if we can't play during a default day, we're going to play during the week. Maybe we could have Jay Lynch there.
Exactly.
I don't know if we see more of Kaboom after week 1.
Tough to say. Yeah.
I'm guessing not, but you never know. He has scrimmed occasionally with them since then, so he's not completely out of the fold.
Right. He didn't like at last season. He left the Discord, and so you knew he was definitely not playing. This time he has stuck around, so there is the chance that they throw him in there here and there.
So yeah, it's Anzio, and I think we know that's a PBCK Kun watch on the PMC side of things. CK's always been a big player on Anzio.
Yeah, him and his nades.
PB is really emerging in my mind as another one of those outside the top 5, maybe cracking top 5 rifles. This season he showed me a lot, and not so much just from a shooting skill, clicking on head standpoint, but just a knowledge of the game. Like hearing him in Discord, he's actually pretty smart when it comes to the game.
Yeah.
Almost to the point where he's having to help 9 IGL a little bit. So that's always good to have. It's always good to hear. Slow Loris on the flip side, we got Hildy, Gall, and Namus, who are all people we've been keeping our eye on. And, we're kind of waiting here to see if Chris W is going to break out or if Kev's going to take that last rifle spot.
Right, yeah.
Because right now it seems like Slow Loris is content on letting Chris W find himself. And what I've seen from Kev is he needs to be playing. So, I don't know. Maybe Kev can't play lately, or he's, who knows what's going on with scheduling.
I don't know his time zone.
No, he's a Euro.
He's a Euro, I think.
So
makes it
he
tough.
Might be a player that plays against over and typical type
right.
thing.
Yeah, because playing at 9 Eastern on a Sunday night probably is impossible for him.
I do think this is one of Element's preferred carbining maps, so I'm going to be on Carbine Watch this week.
Yeah, I think that's a safe bet.
But I will be taking PMC at the end of the day here, and I'm going to be taking them by about 3 caps.
Okay. I could see 3-4 caps.
What do you think, Tox?
Yeah, I would say around the 3 cap mark.
Could get a little worse depending on how everybody's playing. Could get a little better if guys on PMC are having a rough one, but I'd say PMC should feel relatively safe, barring, something crazy.
And I'll obviously be keeping an eye out for whoever's sniping for Slow Loris, whether it's Hildy or Namus.
Who sniped last week?
Hildy.
Hildy sniped every week so far.
Yeah.
And he's doing great.
Yeah, he's top fragging every week. But,
Yeah.
Here at the DODCAST, we've been thinking we'd like to see Hildy rifling and Namus sniping.
Yeah.
I maybe
personally
more firepower overall.
Right. I think it just gives him a little bit. I mean, Austin will get there. It's just still early days for him getting back into the swing of things. Before.
Yeah, it tends, if you're a rifle sniper, sometimes it's a little easier to pick up the sniper once you come back.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. Just feels like simpler to do.
And I do think Hildy is the best sniper on the team. So
yeah,
I get why he's sniping.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Just so that's cleared up. All right, but that's PMC Slow Loris. Let's just go right to our last match. It is the match of the week this week. In gold, it is Icy Hot again featured in the match of the week. This time they've got Typical right back into the fire, out of the frying pan from week 2 into week 3. A tough match to bounce back after a very tough loss.
It is.
On a map that Milo's going to be going crazy on.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's his best map, but it's got to be right up there.
And don't forget Nightmare will be everywhere.
Oh my god. Nightmare rank force already once this week, and just seeing what he can do on Anzio is very impressive.
Yeah, he is so
smart. He's always ready for the peaks. That guy's insane.
He's making nothing but the right moves, you know. And then you got to deal with, on top of that, Timo and Scotty. And, you know, it's hashtag typical worst to first.
It's really scary for Icy Hot too because Sick was traditionally a double windows car.
Yeah,
That's Vertex City.
it
So,
is.
and you know he's gonna let Vertex do that because you don't take
Yeah.
Vertex out of his
No.
comfort zones. So now Sick's back on bridge, carring bridge, which is something I don't want to say he's uncomfortable with. He just may not be as experienced at.
I'm certainly not comfortable with doing it myself, so I feel his pain.
It's really tough, especially going against these typical rifles. Timo has been playing bridge for his whole career, essentially.
Yeah.
You know, Nightmare's going to show up at bridge if they get it on
Yeah.
Allies, and he's probably going to be there on Axis.
He will be there on Axis, and you will not kill him. Anyway.
Here's where I don't understand. It's either going to be, is Typical going to run out Die Life again, or another random sixth?
That is the question.
Is Baron going to get in there?
Right, yeah, that is the question.
Because I have a hard time seeing Baron not starting.
Yeah, Baron's been playing really, really well. You know, I don't know if there was just a lack of availability for Hallie or what. I have no idea.
Scotty likes to just share the wealth.
That's
thing.
true, yeah, just getting reps.
He's kind of, you know, their mindset is, hey, we're here to have fun and play with people we enjoy playing with.
Yeah.
So, I mean, don't forget Louis still on that roster.
Yep.
That's true.
I mean,
Frank.
Louis. I don't know if maybe Louis has a schedule change, but I think Louis is a guy that wants to play. So,
yeah.
Unless maybe he can't play as much this season, I don't understand why he may be on that roster if he's not going to play.
Right.
Because he could probably help other teams, maybe
Absolutely.
lower other upper teams. So
right, yeah, he can definitely play anywhere.
It does remain to be seen what Louis is going to do, and this is a big Louis map. He was top fragging for no-go last season on Anzio.
Yeah, against heavyweights.
So yeah,
and you got Frank in there too, who hasn't seen any action yet.
You never know when Frank's going to pop his head in.
And Matt is, you know, he's an Anzio kind of guy on bridge too. So like he would be a good play as well. It's a tough call for that last spot.
So yeah, it's and on the Icy Hot side of things, it's almost the same story. Like who is going to snipe? Who is that sixth? So both these teams have question marks coming in.
And hypothetically, though, so if Knockout can't play default time and Typical has to play in the afternoon, that might give Knockout the chance to get into this one.
And I have seen him scrimming this week already with them, so I think that might be the case.
That would be helpful
this week.
Yeah, I mean he's a vet, a KG vet sniper, so you could probably do some work there, trying to neutralize Nightmare, which is near impossible to do, but.
Yeah, and I guess we're scrimming Icy Hot tomorrow, so we'll know more then. Unfortunately, it doesn't help us now. But
does not help us at one bit.
Yeah, I think we're going to be seeing Knockout Snipe this week.
Okay, that makes sense.
Since it'll be an earlier match.
Yeah. That's good, though, for Icy Hot, just to get that, not having to look around for a potential ringer. I mean, Stealth probably can do it any time, but just nice to know who you got coming in with the scope.
Well, they got lucky with Stealth last week because
they had no match.
Was on bye.
Yeah, that's right.
So it kind of worked out bringing him in. He could scrim with them throughout the week, no problem.
It was cool to see that, though. A guy stepping up for a full week of ringing is kind of fun.
I mean, easy choice. He had 100 whatever kills.
Yeah.
Or 96 kills.
96. That's insanity.
And he played really well, so shout out Kevin.
He did.
And ringing through Icy Hot. But anyways, who are we taking this week? My God.
I mean, you know who I'm taking. I'm hashtag typical worst to first, so I'm taking
typical. I hate to
typical.
do it because I love the boys on Icy Hot. But damn, if I knew the Bear was showing up and could get a scrim or two in this week, I wouldn't even question it. But I'm taking typical too, and I'm taking it by less than a cap.
It's going to be a close one. Every match of the week has been very close. And, I mean, you got, obviously, with Icy Hot, a guy like Bees, who has literally won a CPL going bridge, could potentially just take things into his own hands and dominate. They have all sorts of players that can just take their route and take it over and run over the other team. But for typical, the players that they have are really good at neutralizing the players going the routes against them, with the Nightmare, with the Milo, with the Timo. These are guys who, if they're not having success just going heads up against you, they will get ratty and greasy, and they will make it painful for you. So, I think that's a big X factor for them.
Tox, what do you think?
I was going to roll with typical by about a cap or less.
Yeah, I think that's probably. I think it's good. We're looking at another really tight butthole clencher of a match of the week here.
And it's both teams lost last week, so they're both kind of trying to redefine themselves here. It's really going to be a close match.
Yeah.
I think both teams are going to come out giving their best performances they can with their best rosters they can. God, and again, if I knew the Bear was available, I wouldn't even think twice. I would take Icy Hot, but I can't do it. And I hope I light a fire under their ass and this,
Yeah.
you know, gets them jacked up, because I know Bees isn't happy about that loss.
No. And they will hear this cast, this
Oh, yeah.
podcast, inevitably. So this might be maybe we're the catalyst for them to really go ham this week. We never know.
And we may regret that. You know,
And we
'cause
might, yeah.
We love shooting ourselves in the foot.
We
here at
do.
all.
I don't even have a foot, and I shoot myself in it all the time.
Constantly.
And put it in my mouth. My
All right, well, that
motherfucking
is,
mouth.
we've come the distance. Damn, what a day.
Yeah.
Of DODCAST. I mean, this will probably be our longest episode ever.
Oh, absolutely.
And I can only blame one person, and that's Toxinator. So, Tox, thank you for keeping us running late. But seriously, thanks for coming on. We loved having you.
Oh, Captain, our Captain.
Thanks for having me.
And hopefully, maybe we get you back on. You know, we're going to do Behind the Gamer episodes later.
Oh, yeah.
And, we'd love to have you on for a little one-on-one deep sesh, you know. Get behind the machine, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, I don't seem to have the memory of things the way Corey does. So
Tony wants to hear about Habib's playbook.
Yeah, that is one thing. We did have a bunch of fan questions come in, and I know we've already gone late. I'm only going to do one. Is it true you stole Habib's notebook at Web2Zone?
I don't know anything about that.
That's not a no. So, with that, I think we're going to call it a day here, guys. It's gone long enough. If you made it this far, you're awesome. Thank you for listening so
seriously.
much. Please get involved in the DoD scene if you're interested. And I swear we're going to put a link to that Discord.
I will put a link in this
This is
video.
the one we put the link to the Discord.
I got the link now. And I'm going to put it in Twitch. Yeah.
Folks.
It's going to be everywhere. You can't miss it.
Tox, any last words?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I kind of threw this league together March, not knowing what to expect. Certainly some speed bumps along the way. Initially, we thought it was going to be a different style of the league, which was the quote-unquote ladder.
The ladder.
The ladder.
And then next thing you know, we had 13, 14 teams sign up. So that totally changed our outlook. You know, season 1, 13 teams. Right now, we're at, how many is it?
16?
16? No. Yeah, 16 teams, over 225 players. So,
Crazy.
and I think, you know, this continues. There's definitely more room to grow.
Oh, yeah. And it looks like it's on track to do that, which is insane.
Well, I know I didn't expect Season 2 to be bigger than Season 1, and now I'm almost... I can't even fathom that Season 3 would be bigger than Season 2, but it's almost like guaranteed at this point.
Yeah.
It feels like.
We know of at least one more team that could potentially come about.
Yeah, there was about 1 or 2 teams that were kind of in the works, but ended up not making it in time.
Yeah.
Or a couple weeks in, or so.
Should only
Big
get
things
better.
coming for DoD.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah, hopefully we can unveil the new 1911 website, things like that. New maps, new website, things. So
Eventually moving away from the Google Doc.
Yeah.
Even though I love the Google Doc.
It is convenient.
9 has definitely been a godsend this season.
Yeah.
He's very detail oriented.
what a
So much
beast.
so. He must
Administrative
have
God.
some sort of OCD, but
Right.
That's
the
kind of
only way
what
to do
KTP
it.
League needed.
Yeah.
yes.
Big shout outs to 9. You are doing the Lord's work.
Yeah.
And we all appreciate it.
And Matt, too. Matt came in and
Yeah,
has
Matt
helped a
Rogers
lot.
doing, and like all the KTP admins and all the Discord admins, you guys are doing great jobs.
Keep it up.
All right, but I think that'll do it for us here. So, Corey, anything else?
No, just everybody let me know when your matches are, and I'll cast the shit out of them until I have no voice anymore. So
Yes, please turn in your match date times once you get them scheduled to KTP
Yeah.
admins so they can get them posted.
And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Please.
We got 1,000 views on the last video, apparently.
Oh my God.
Don't know how, but
Someone's playing
someone's playing a
horrible
joke on us for sure. Yeah, we have no doubt about that. But yeah, thank you guys for being here. We'll see you again for the next episode. Good luck this week. And yeah, thanks for
KTP.
watching. KTP. Love you guys. Peace.